I'm Stavros. Good afternoon and welcome to London. I'm here in Mayfair at JD Classics. Now I'm going to go inside and show you all the cars here. Stuart Batchelor is inside. He's going to walk us through all the cars on display here today. So there is the giveaway, guys. I'm giving away some things and you'll know about them at the end of the video. In the meantime, let's go inside and see this fantastic collection at JD Classics. So I'm now in the showroom of JD Classics, guys. A fabulous collection to show you here today. And I'm joined by Stuart Batchelor. He's going to take us around. So Stuart, thank you very much for having me here today.
Okay, good to see you again. Got some new cars to show you. Well, I say new cars, not quite new.
But they look new, they're so good.
They certainly are.
But Stuart is going to take us around now. And guys, you're going to enjoy this.
Okay, so the first car we've got to show you is the Ferrari 275. There's an alloy body one, 6 carb, which is probably the ultimate specification for one of these. This particular car was going to be used by the first owner, a Swedish gentleman, in the 1966 Monte Carlo Rally. So it's got almost a competition engine in this car, much quicker than the standard. In addition to this, when it was first built, because of his failing eyesight, he had 4 spotlights put in where the grille should have been. But once he had the car delivered, he realised after testing that his eyes were too bad and he didn't actually take it into the rally itself. But he owned it for a few more years, and recently, in 2014, this car was completely restored, total bare metal, frame off, everything done to it. There's over 4,300 hours spent on this car, and it's what you see here today. It's actually got a book about the restoration on the car as well. The next car is an XK140 Roadster, 1955. This car was a bespoke build for one of our customers. We sourced the car from America. We converted it from left to right hand drive for him. Because he was 6'5", we actually extended the cockpit as well. In addition to that, we upgraded the disc brakes, the suspension, the cooling, put in a 5-speed gearbox, and also uprated the original engine to our high torque touring specification. And as you can see, it was done probably about 5 years ago, but still in very, very good condition. And we also installed the wooden dash. Now usually that would only be installed into either the drop head coupe or the fixed head, but not into the Roadster. But we, as a bespoke piece for the customer, we installed one for him. Yeah, this car didn't win Le Mans, Jaguar did. Our next car is a superb example of the 300SL Roadster. This car was owned by the very first owner up until 2004. It has had a restoration, but it was a good 10 years ago, and it still looks absolutely stunning. I was lucky enough to drive this a few weeks ago from the city back to Mayfair, and it was sublime. Beautiful car, still retains its original fitted luggage in the boot, and fantastic combination of the grey with the burgundy red leather. And on to the Ferrari 330 GTS, quite a rare beast, only 100 examples made. This car originally was in a deep blue metallic. It's only had 2 owners in its whole lifetime and covered only 48,000 miles. But the colour's been changed to red, and I think it actually suits the car better, the red. Again, superb example. Restored a few years ago, but very well maintained. And so one of the rarer Ferraris around. So this is an interesting car, this C-Type. You're probably thinking it's a lightweight works car. Unfortunately it's not, but it's a car we created ourselves by hand in our own workshops. Exact replica. We do own an original, and performance-wise it is on par with that, around 280 to 300 brake horsepower. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment, and it has been raced in things like the Bernina Hill Climb. It's been used in that. It's something we built a good sort of 5 or 6 years ago, It's a stunning piece of equipment. If it was real, you'd probably, I think the last one sold, lightweight, sold for about $13.2 million. That's a few years ago, so expect that figure to have risen. But alas, this is not that car. Okay, here's the engine, the iconic Jaguar straight 6. Push, as I mentioned, about 280 to 300 brake horsepower. Will give the car probably a sub 6 seconds 0 to 60. And with the right gearing and right differential, it's a 150 mile an hour car. Okay, now we have the Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase. A car which I've been privileged enough to drive a few times. They only made 167 of these cars. This particular one has been restored in 2014 with ourselves doing a repaint on the car. This was sort of the track day car of its time. Many people used to drive them to the track, race around, and as long as they didn't dent them too much, drive them home. Stunning vehicle, very easy to drive, if not a bit nerve-wracking. It's not a cheap car, but it's a beautiful thing. Okay, on to the 1962 DB4 Series 4. As you can see, this one is actually sold. Soon flying out to its new owner, new lucky owner I should add. This is an RS Williams restoration. A superb car. One as well as total restoration, they converted it from right to left-hand drive, and also increased the engine capacity to a 4.2, which was something which was done in period as well by the factory. Right, moving on from one British icon to another, the Austin Mini Cooper. People are quite shocked when they come to the showroom and see this, but it is an icon, and everybody loves a Mini. This one is again total restoration, back to its original factory specification colours. It's the 1071cc, which was the rarer of the engine sizes. They only made 3,000. Sounds like a lot, but not in Mini terms. My favourite part of this car is the hinged rear number plate. Now, the reason they've done this is because obviously not a great sized boot, so a lot of people would put in their suitcases and leave them open, which allowed the registration number to hinge down, swing down, so you could see the registration still. Okay, back to keeping it British and back to the Aston Martin. Not a DB5, as some people think. It's actually a DB6 Mk2. Again, restored by a renowned Aston Martin restorer. This car is actually an automatic. A lot of cars in period were changed to a manual, but this one has retained its automatic transmission, and I can see why. It does drive very well as an automatic, this car. Not a DB5, as I mentioned. The biggest spot is the on the rear, the tail kicks up, and they're about 2 inches taller, about 2 inches longer as well. Right, something a little bit more modern. Nowadays you've got the Chiron. Previous to that was the Veyron, but the car which kind of started this is the EB110 from Bugatti. It was the first quad turbo they produced. It's 3.5 litre V12, pushing around 550 brake horsepower in a stunning blue. It's got scissor doors. Now, this was built between 91 and 95. It was launched in Paris on the 110 years to the day of the birth of Mr. Bugatti himself. It was launched as a luxury supercar, kind of what the XJ220 should have been, i.e. V12. A strange mix of wood and leather. Nowadays it would be carbon or aluminium, I'd have thought. But the belly of the beast is under here. So V12, 3.5 litre, quad turbo. It's only covered around 30,000 miles in its lifetime. Been meticulously looked at, maintained. And you also have the electrically operated spoiler comes up at certain speeds, manual or automatic. It's also 4-wheel drive, and it's actually quite easy to drive, although reversing isn't much fun. Okay, now the final car I've got to show you, probably actually one of my favourites as well, is a 1953 XK120 X-Period race car. Now this car was actually a 21st birthday present to Mike Salmon, a British racing car driver who gained fame driving for Aston Martin and Ferrari. He raced at Le Mans, and this, I say, was his 21st birthday present from his parents. At the time he was an apprentice at Jaguar, and he did build the car up to D-Type specification. He raced at a lot of hill climbs and track days, and obviously got himself noticed. Moved on to his career in motor racing. We've restored this car, total restoration. We've modified a couple of items on it. We've upgraded the cooling. The car's probably about 250 brake horsepower. It's probably good for 130 odd miles an hour, which actually achieved in 1956 with Norman Dewis, Jaguar test driver, behind the wheel. He drove it at the Myra test track and averaged around 134 miles an hour. And so it's still good for that today. Then the final car thing we've got to show you is this glorious replica of a Mike Hellwood Honda. There was 11 of these built. They were licensed by Honda. 6 carburettor, a very loud bike. Honda actually own chassis 1 and 2, and they do use them for demonstrations. But it's a beautiful thing. We do a few bikes. You probably saw the Indian at the front of the showroom. We have a collection. They're not all for sale, but then again, at the right price, I'm sure they are. That's about it, really. It's all we've got to show. Thanks for coming down again. I'm sure we'll have something around new for you next time, and I'm sure there'll be a next time. So thank you, and goodbye from JD Classics.
So Stuart, thank you very much for having me today.
That's right, pleasure.
Absolute fantastic selection of cars here. Now it's time for the giveaway, guys. So I have all the items here that we're giving away today for somebody to come in to Stuart here, or whoever's going to be here.
Dylan, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, and say Stavros969, and you will get all these goodies here. So we have this prancing horse here. This you can put it on top of your mantelpiece. It's almost like a Ferrari prancing horse. And I have a copy of Cannonball 8, and don't forget, Cannonball is happening again this September. 3-day supercar road trip around Ireland. Check out cannonball.ie for more details. There's also £20 in that. And we have a Rock and Rumble t-shirt here, and 2 Cannonball t-shirts, and a Cannonball cap. So you will get all those items on that desk, and Stuart will package them all in a box for collection. And all you have to do is come in and say Stavros969, and you'll get all the items.
Could be easier.
So yeah, that is where I will leave you all today, guys, from JD Classics. A huge thanks to Stuart again, and I will talk to you all again in the next video. Don't forget, guys, get in and get these. I'll talk to you in the next video, guys. Take care now. Cheers.